welcome, everybody. Welcome. Where's Warren? Sorry, I kicked
Ah,
Warren
how's
out.
it? How's
Sorry.
it?
Hi. Sorry, there, Ian. Sorry, Warren. Sorry, everybody.
Sure,
Got
no
myself
problem.
confused here. Welcome to
Yeah.
the Cape Town Armoury show. I don't know if it's going to be as heated as other days because Arsenal won. So let's see how
Yeah.
it goes. But yeah, the Arsenal won without our captain. Uh,
That's severe topic for tonight.
uh,
Severe topic for tonight.
without our captain, what does that tell you, Warren? You should stay far
Li-
away, or
Listen here. I've been very vocal about this, even when Morgan was doing the show. I've and a very unpopular sort of comment by me, and I've said for 2 years, 2 years ago, I said this guy is not going to be good enough for us. He's going to get older and slower. We're not going to see the best of this guy. But I'll admit I didn't see what I didn't see coming is just this bad behavior from him, and just ill discipline. I actually didn't see that coming, especially since we got rid of the whole Ozil scenario. So I didn't see that coming. So it just makes the bad thing even worse. And I called for this guy for us to move on past him. It's a video. I'm just furious with this guy. I'm really, and I'm hoping that our manager can sort of lead by example here. He's done it before. He's done it again. Discipline the guy. I'm actually glad
yep,
he came out and done that. But
yep.
I'm not happy. I think we need to move on past this guy now. It's a long way overdue. I don't know. What's your thoughts on the whole Aubameyang thing?
Not the same guy of 2 years ago, eh? I just don't see the passion. It's gone. It's since he signed that contract. I don't know. I think the passion for Arsenal is gone. And if you don't love the badge, you've got to go, dude. That's in the
Yeah,
story.
yeah. And
And
I think
he
what
can.
amplifies it. Yeah, sorry. What amplifies it for me is that, especially, we keep hearing, we keep talking about that we've got the youngest squad, so we actually need more leadership than any other club in the whole league.
Yeah,
I mean,
of
it's
course.
yeah,
With the young side we have, we need that leadership, and he's supposed to be that example. And nope, he's not. And I think we can manage without him, because certainly not he's not bringing anything to the team. I mean, he's got 4 goals for the whole season, 4, and he's 4 men. I mean, 4 goals,
yeah,
and
yeah,
if you look at the chances he's missed, that
yeah.
that is also unforgivable.
Yeah, the thing is
That
also, I mean, the only argument that people used to throw back at me when I was calling for his head, you know, was that, oh, but if we get rid of him, where's the goals going to come from? And my counter argument is always, which is the case now, well, where's the goals coming from now?
yeah,
What's the bloody difference? Yeah,
exactly,
I know. I
exactly.
mean, there's like, so now you can sort of hear sort of the tone has sort of changed from Arsenal. So I think the penny has finally dropped. The penny is, no
Yeah,
one is arguing and saying, no, 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 we gotta hold on. I think everyone is at that point, and the manager's got to, like to say, have kahunas, he's going to have to
yeah,
step up to the plate, make the big decision. It's a big call. It's not
yeah.
that straightforward. He's going to have to make a big call, and we just need to bite the bullet and show leadership, and show that we're a big club, man. Show
Yeah.
that we're a big club. Make
So,
decisive decisions.
this is probably a question I'm gonna throw to our guests. So before I bring them on,
Yeah.
can you answer this question? Who do we buy
Yeah.
in January? Let's say Aubameyang is done. He's out.
Yeah.
We striker should be obviously the top of the list.
Yeah.
Throw some names in the hat there for us.
The very first one, and this is, I'm looking at someone that realistically we can get, so Aubameyang can go, Lacazette can go, Nketiah can go. That's like a hell of a lot of money we can, salaries we can save, and wages, and sales and
Yeah,
stuff like that. But my number one choice would be Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I think we realistically look. I can say we can, let's go buy Messi and Mbappe, but realistically it's not going to happen. Or
yeah,
Holland, that isn't going to happen. Realistically, I think strike while the iron is hot. While everything is going through this whole Benitez crap, and he's not really, let strike while the iron is hot. We got the money to spend. He's got Premiership experience. He's getting better. His best years are still ahead of him. He's the big guy that can sort of bring the best out of the others. So he offers what Lacazette can offer, but more on a more consistent level. But he can score goals as well. He would,
Yeah.
and also the thing is, the other cherry on the top, well, too, is that he's a professional. There's no issues with him, no off-field crap, and he's gonna throw his toys out of the cot. He's a professional. He's just give it his best every game. And then the second cherry on the top is he is actually an Arsenal supporter. So yeah,
Okay.
there you go. You'd be my, I mean, there's a couple others. I'm sure, obviously, people will
Yeah.
mention other names, but if it was me, I'd say, yes, 60 million Everton, please give me this guy.
Okay, cool. Let's bring our guests on, George and Ian. Good evening, George. Good evening, Ian.
Good evening.
How's it going, guys? Yeah,
How's it, gentlemen?
always a pleasure having guests on the show. I don't. I think people is tired of Warren's complaining and my face and.
Always one of the best. Always one of the best.
but yeah, let's start with you, George. We can touch on the Aubameyang story in a bit, but the game itself. I mean, what was your thoughts on how the game went and any positives we can take from it, other than us winning, of course. But
well, that's the thing. I think it's really easy to just get overexcited. It's Southampton basically. We beat Southampton at home. We've got a good home record. It's expected. So look, I think it's great that we won. It's great for confidence. But the first 15, 20 minutes was, it just showed how psychologically how battered we were in the last two games. And I think it's just a sign of a young team. It's like our average age is, I think, 23. And, so it was great that we won and it was a good performance, but you can't really tell much. And you certainly can't say anything about the forthcoming West Ham game, So look, I'm happy, but I think we've got to keep calm, Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. With what George said, that it's a young team and we all get that, can we forgive them for performances that we had against Everton and Manchester United and Liverpool? Can we look past that and say, okay, it's a young team, they're not always going to be that consistent, let's just see the growth over a period of time?
Actually, we can, though, to be quite straight, though, because we look at it, though, the way the team started those games, especially against Liverpool, we started well, especially young players. I think our senior players let us down hard in all three of those games, in terms of Partey, Aubameyang, Lacazette. I mean, Laka didn't start against Liverpool. I would have preferred him starting that game, or I think it was against United. But I think the youngsters did well. They actually held their heads up high. They put in a couple of good performances. Smith Rowe, Bukayo Saka once again playing well. Ben Wells adapting. I love our back five. I think there's something to build on there. And the youngsters need some more experience. I mean, we have the experienced guys, but they're not pulling the weight. So it's kind of hard for them to feed off them as well. So they're just doing what they've been instructed to do. They're putting in the effort week in, week out. And like what George said, those first 20 minutes, bro, I was flying through what the Southern Cup. Because I thought, here we go again. Because the Hampton they were all over us. Then we scored that first goal. The drinking calmed down a bit, and then we started playing football again.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's that type of season, bro. The football determined by drinking as well.
So, I mean, I think it's yeah.
So,
go for it, George.
What do you say about Everton and Man U games? Look, I'm an old man, so I try to stay up to watch it, but past 10:30, I pass out. So I watched them recently, so I'd read all the stuff about them, and I've been on the social media, and everyone was like, Everton, terrible, blah, blah, blah. I watched these games and I was like, is it just me, or we weren't that bad? Against Everton especially, I thought at the beginning of the second half, we held our ground. We're away, we've got a really poor away record, It's just part of this young team that, is just finding itself. We've got a really solid back four. And, even in midfield, I thought we held ourselves really well against Everton. And even in Man U at Old Trafford, we didn't do too badly. We just were unlucky. And then it was lapses of concentration again from Ben White, You know, and there was a great, you know, great goal from them, you know, in the last minute from Gray. So I don't think we actually played that badly. And I think, but it just destroyed confidence. And I think people, again, we expected us to be in the top 4 now. We had a good games against Aston Villa, Leicester, and all of a sudden, everyone expects us to win every game, you know, and we're not judging the team, you know, according to where we're actually at, you know. So I don't think we actually played that badly. But, you know, and then coming into the Southampton game, all of a sudden, their confidence is completely shot because also, you know, the Arsenal fans are on their backs. Yeah. So, you know, it was great that they actually weathered that first 20 minutes against Southampton, you know, and, you know, it came from there.
So, let's fast forward to May, and would a top 6 finish, so obviously outside 5, 6, if we end there, no trophies, but would that be progress? Would that be a step up? Obviously, from a league position, we ended 8th. Where do we end? 8th, 9th last season. So from a league position, yes, it's a step up. But I mean, overall, would you say if we end 6th, would that be some sort of progress for this side? I mean, would you take 6th place?
I would definitely take 6th though, because if you look at the top 3 is out of reach. Those 3 spots are confirmed. So 4th, 5th, and 6th is up for grabs. So I wouldn't write off 4th just yet. I mean, a little bit more consistency with actual senior players coming to the party would actually help us make 4th, but it's going to be a bit tough. But I think 6th, we need to get back into Europe. These young boys need European football as well, so they can build experience. Just that play Europe.
Is that Europa League 6? Did we get Europa League?
Yeah.
If we get 6, okay.
Yeah. And I think if you win the Carabao Cup, then we go to that, you know, for Conference League or something, which you don't really want to be in, to be honest.
No.
But I think European football is a definite next season. And that has to be one of the main targets going into every single game now in the league. I mean, we play football once a week, besides with FA Cups and the Carabao Cup. So we should be winning these games. But let's hope we can go on another run as well, you know. I mean, West Ham is going to be tricky on Wednesday night, even though it's a home game. But I feel that, I mean, it's a London derby, it's a home game for us. I feel we should win that game, you know, but they're still going to test us, because I mean, they're beating everybody this season. They're giving every single team a headache in the league, you know, and we just another team they want to give another headache.
Okay.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, no, it's just, like thinking about it, Everton and like the United games, and then going into the West Ham game, I think a lot of the guys were, I think where the disappointment mostly lied was how we approached a lot of those games. So we played okay, but we were so negative that they were clearly there for the taking. I mean, the atmosphere at Old Trafford and Goodison Park was weird in a way that it's not like it normally is. It's like flat like a pancake, and there were those teams that were there for the taking and were like just so negative on both nights. But like Ian said, it was actually more to do with the senior players. They didn't step up on those occasions, and again, we saw that happening in the first 25 minutes. I mean, take a wild guess who was giving all the balls away on Saturday? It was the senior players, more them than the youngsters, and it's almost the other way around. And this is where, well, look, it's been a problem like this since like Wenger's time. I mean, the senior players consistently let us down, and if we can get that right, I mean, I think we could even challenge maybe even a little bit higher than 6. I mean, because we do have quality players in the squad, and like our back 5 is finally gelling now. So I mean, I suppose I lit off some steam earlier about our captain. What's your guys' thoughts about
You're not the only one. You're not the only one.
I mean, what do you guys think? What do we do with this guy? Where do we keep him, or what's the story?
Can I say about Alba? I've been saying for a year now. I mean, his last good game was the FA Cup final, basically. Then he signed his contract. But I think basically what a lot of people don't talk about is that our style of play doesn't suit him. You know, we need a striker that can come back, get the ball, and then connect to the other two players up front in the forward line. Yeah. He's more of like an out-and-out goal poacher who drifts left a lot of the time. You know, he's not. It doesn't suit our style, and he's actually been trying. A lot of the games, you'll actually find him, you know, in defence. You know, coming back to defend. It's not like an Ozil situation. He's actually been trying, you know, to fulfil the role that he's been given. But he's just not. I don't think he's a right striker. And someone like Calvert-Lewin, if you see like his highlights, He is perfect for us, dude. He's a goal poacher. Now we've got Saka and ESR under Tierney, the crosses into the box. There's no one there to head them. You saw, Laka, by the way, I want to talk about Laka as well. He suits our system perfectly. I actually don't want him to leave, but he needs more confidence. He had 3 clear chances. He scored 1, and then the other 2 should have finished as well against Southampton. And he lacks confidence in front of goal, but also he would link up really well with someone like Calvert-Lewin. I think he'd play really well. I'd love to see him play against someone like Lewin. So I don't think we should let Laka go. But Albert he doesn't suit our system. And by the way, I think what happened Friday, I'm just complete speculation, is that he was dropped for Everton, and then Friday he was told he was going to be dropped again for Southampton. And I thought he just thought F this, and he just didn't show up for training. Apparently, that's my suspicion. So I think there's more going on behind the scenes, but I think his time is finished. I think it's obvious, but I think getting rid of him is going to be really hard because his wages. We can't sell him, because I think it's going to be really hard to find someone to take him up, especially now when he hasn't been scoring.
Apparently, Barcelona wants him, eh?
No,
I saw somebody.
Really?
Sure.
Because apparently Aguero is thinking about retiring.
Yeah, I saw that.
No. Aguero's announcing his retirement tomorrow, actually.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's some medical issues with him.
Yeah. Really? Okay, yeah, great. Yeah, it's happening. Yeah, fantastic.
Take him.
I think some of the Spanish teams are a bit sort of desperate. They're on the other end of the stick now, whereas I could pick the best out of the bunch. I think
They can't
grabbing
afford.
some of the scraps and
Is it?
trying
Yeah.
to. Yeah, I mean that would be the issue. But if we do get something like that,
That'd
gotta
be
take
perfect.
it.
Yeah, they can have him, mate. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we need to resolve this over issue though, because it's another Oswald situation happening at the moment.
Yeah.
A lot of money,
Okay.
Oh
got
my
no
word!
confidence.
Oh my word!
His form is dog shit. He's got no influence in the team. I mean, look at Martinelli on Saturday. Martinelli, that's his second game start. He was looking so sharp. He hit the post a couple of times. He was influential, running. He took on all those fullbacks. He was doing well. So he used to start every single game though. I mean, we can't have players in the team that don't want to perform. Their minds aren't in it. I mean, we're still in the sort of situation that we need to get out of this rut that we're in. Because it was hot and cold too many times, bro. You can't be consistent for like a few games and inconsistent for the next 10. So that's the issue. And there's players that play their role in that, so we need to get rid of those players. And he's the captain. Well, I don't feel should have been captain in the first place 10 weeks ago. Honestly.
Who would be if Aubameyang does, say for example, we sell this guy in Jane? I mean, who would be your pick as his replacement for club captain?
Club captain, all that. All the next.
Yeah,
obvious
we
choice-
would have to make a choice. I mean, so would it
Yeah, I know. And the next obvious choice would be Lacazette. Like George said, I would keep Lacazette because he links up play perfectly with our midfield players as well. But I don't know who's the next captain. Could you make Ramsdale captain? That would be my personal choice though.
Yeah.
Because he's just been so
someone
he's
said that
amazing.
Charlton
From the
said
back, he is amazing. His influence in the game from the back going forward is insane. I mean, his pass for their first goal was a bit risky because they nearly got the ball.
yeah.
But still, though,
Yeah.
it was crazy.
Yeah.
But Ramsdale would be my choice.
Yeah, it's a good call. George, who do your pick be?
Well, I think the problem is there's not enough leaders on the pitch. So it'd either be Ramsdale, definitely, or you know what? Here's something controversial: Xhaka. I mean, who else? I wouldn't go to party.
Oh.
Exactly. So who else? Tierney's too young. So it has to be Ramsdale for me.
I would go for that. Here's another one: Ben White for club captain. What do you guys think about Ben White?
I don't
Too
think
soon?
So. Not too soon. Yes, settled though. Yes, settled very well.
Starting to settle,
Too soon, though. Yeah. Ramsdale's the obvious choice, man.
So I have to say this, but I agree with Wolfie. As much as I want Ramsdale, I think you'd be a good captain. I don't want to put that responsibility on him because he's performing pretty well now. And, with being captain and at a big club like Arsenal comes pressure. So I think he's really got enough pressure that he's basically got to do 2 top total saves a match.
Every single match.
Every single match. So, yeah, I'd probably look at somebody like Ben White or Gabriel. Xhaka's also an option. I know there's a love-hate relationship with Xhaka, but he does bring something to this team.
Yeah,
Yes,
that
he
would be
makes
controversial.
mistakes.
battle.
Yeah, he makes he makes
Even
mistakes.
the
We all
captaincy.
know he makes when Xhaka makes a mistake, it costs us a goal. No matter what, it costs
Yeah.
us a goal. But
Or a red
we also
card.
have to look past that into what he brings into the side. I think he kind of brings that calmness in midfield a lot more. And I think we need to mold Sambi Lokongo to that type of player where he's just more
Yeah.
relaxed on the ball. Because Xhaka's also not that young. But yeah, that's my 2 cents.
I
Um,
think we've missed Sandy in midfield this past 3 games, to be honest. Eh? I like
yeah, I
that kid
think
in midfield.
I'd like to see Xhaka and Sambi Lokongo in midfield because I think Partey needs a break. He's had a couple of horrendous games.
Yeah.
He just needs to get his head back and yeah, just take a break on the bench and then take it from there.
Will be a big battle on that will be a big battle on Wednesday night though, because
Yeah.
West Ham will bring the big Oaks in midfield. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
for
we're
sure,
gonna
for
need to
sure,
be
for sure.
if we lose a midfield battle, we could be in trouble.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
think
I think with defensive midfielders, they're notoriously hard to judge on TV, yeah, because their work is always behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Like I remember, like Gilberto, like I used to think he was rubbish, but then I saw him live, and you realise how much running he's doing off the ball and
Yeah.
off the team. So I think again
It's
with
the
Partey,
invisible
I think he actually does a lot more than you realise. I think like with the Man U game, he gave away the ball away. Gave the ball away a lot, but he also made a lot of interceptions. You know what I mean? So I think his presence actually he has had a bad games in terms of distribution going forward, but for the first goal against Southampton, he was there. He actually does a lot more than people realise. But I think I'm not sure if like Xhaka and Sambi are going to be strong enough to hold that midfield. So, Partey's problem right now is going forward, and he's got his eye on shooting as well. He's got to stop. He's got to get that out of his head. Shooting, converting the ball like a rugby player. He's just got to chill out, do his job, go back to basics, and I think he'll be good.
Yeah.
But even he himself says, he gave himself 4 out of 10 recently. In the press, he was saying he hasn't been that good. Maybe give him a break, but I actually think he brings more to the game than people realise. But that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, I think going forward, there's an issue, and I think there's a genuine because Zach is not going to go forward, so one of the two has, and I think then Partey has to, and then he's kind of a little bit like, hold on, he's a bit rusty, and because he never done that at Atletico Madrid, he was just the one sitting the whole time.
Yeah.
So I think that can maybe come with time. He needs to link up better with Odegaard. I think that can improve. There's a lot of little finer things we can fix. But we definitely need to get that combinations going. I think with the first goal against Southampton, you can see why Arteta put Saka in straight. If you had to sort of get a carbon copy of the perfect Arteta goal, it would be that first goal.
Exactly.
Suck them in from the keeper right back into midfield. I could almost think it in my head how it's going in and out, and then it's the winger push forward, and then 45 back to the striker. That's like Pep Guardiola deluxe. So you can, and Zach is actually good.
Oh, Pep deluxe.
Hey, that's Pep Guardiola,
deluxe.
Man City. Pep Guardiola that's a Pep move, and I think Zach is good at that.
Had they done that against Liverpool, we would have given away a goal. Because you see, like, Southampton. So I'm not so sure if they could do that against Liverpool right now.
I don't think we're good enough to do that against the B. I think we're still trying to get there. We still look a little bit, shaky, but okay. That is where Ethan needs to prove.
It's part of our identity now. So there is a bit of an identity. It's just like the lapses in concentration. Like look at the 3 goals against United. We gave each of those goals away.
Yeah,
because they weren't really putting us under pressure.
No.
They gave us in the bag. We get to create more chances and take those chances. We could have won that game 3-0 easily.
I suppose this. Yeah, that's what you get as well with such a young team. You get inconsistent performances. That's just going to happen, and we just going to have to take it on the chin. But what's really magnifying everything is like you said earlier, it's the senior players that are not stepping up. I think they could, at times, get us out of jail in those moments. But what they're doing is actually just making a tough situation tougher for the kids, and then the kids must deal with the stuff. And I think
feel the whole team full of kids.
Yeah, there's got to be a good, strong spine. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but it just shows how hard it is to pick another captain because we haven't got any leaders. None of the senior players stand out as captain material, you know. So you're
Yeah.
right. I mean, the senior players is a big problem
Yeah.
in terms of leading the kids. The kids are doing
Yeah.
great. You know, all
Yeah.
the kids are. You know, they're making mistakes, a bit naive. So what? You know, that's normal.
Part of
The
it,
senior
yeah.
players are really letting us down. You're right. You're absolutely right. And I think
Yeah.
we need more leadership on the pitch. Something.
And that is what.
If you do,
Yeah. Sorry.
if you do,
Yeah, go for it.
if you do give Zaka the captaincy again, I mean, that's like last chance saloon for him though, because I mean, if you're wearing that captain's armband, you have to be proud of that armband and the badge as well, because there's a lot of responsibility, and at this point in time, we need that senior role in that midfield, especially in the starting 11 every single game. That's going to be consistent. That can pull the team together. I mean, like on the back foot, like those first 20 minutes, there was nobody taking responsibility. Everybody was all over the place. So we need that. You know, we desperately need that.
It's interesting. Can I just say about Sambi though? Like he didn't play him for Man U and he didn't play him for Everton. He didn't start him because Xhaka came going back into the team. Why would you break up such a good central partnership up to that point? You know,
Yeah.
I think with Sambi, because he was a bit naive against Liverpool, he might have thought, well, you know, Xhaka's now not injured, so of course he's got to come back into the side. But the partnership was working, you know, and Sambi's going to learn, you know, he's going to learn from his mistakes. So I personally would have liked to have seen Partey and Sambi stay in that role as he has with the back four now. You know, the back four hasn't changed really. So Sambi and Partey in front of him has been successful. So why change that? Why put Xhaka back in? So everyone, you know, Xhaka's had some good games. There's like he didn't seem to, you know, make any mistakes, but he also broke up the rhythm by putting him on. So yeah, I personally would have kept Sambi for Everton and Man U. You never know, you know, had the confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing about Arteta, he makes weird substitutions. Sometimes the starting 11 is not consistent enough. I mean, it was consistent for a couple of games, and like I say, with the Sambi, why was Sambi dropped? One bad game out of all the good games he's had all season so far.
And sorry, man, El Neni. What the hell was El Neni doing on the pitch? I mean, just because he had a good game, like, you know, against Man U about 10 years ago. I mean, he's leaving the club, so why put him on? You've also got Ainsley, who was man of the match in that position against Watford.
Yeah, true.
What the hell was El Neni?
Getting frozen out again, you know.
Yeah.
Please, I think what I just like, okay.
Go for it, Jan. Go for it, Jan.
Okay, now it was a quick one. Like, what I just like about Arteta's play, man, into the way he freezes players out. I mean, look at Pepe at the moment. Okay, he hasn't been performing, but I mean, the guy got like 3 minutes out of the day. That's like his first game in 4 or 5 games. I mean, I hate that. Don't freeze the players out. That's why Maitland Niles was so vocal on social media about wanting to leave the club. And he tagged the club on the post as well. So that it's kind of eye-opening, but I still don't see this thing happening again. He's got to sort that shit out, though. Honestly, you got to play players turning against you.
Let's contentious. Yeah, nah, I'm with you. It doesn't make sense because what message are you sending to the guys like El Neni and Ketia? They're going to be leaving the clubs. Even like a Z. Honestly, he'll most likely leave the club in Jan or the end of the season. I mean, Lord knows we played Kolasinac away to Man City. Centre back. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? Serious?
Let's get to the
we had a lot of injury worries though, man. Most of our team was out with injuries for the first few games.
Yeah, I would have played. Yeah, she was not him. Play four defenders.
Let's get to the player ratings for the Southampton game. Ian, Ramsdale, score out of 10 for the game on Saturday.
I'm going to give him an 8 because he's so consistent. Just another basic performance for him in the goal, you know.
George?
Yeah, I'll give him a 7. Very consistent. Solid.
Guys in the chat, anybody want to rate Ramsdale's performance on Saturday? Quickly. Going once, going twice, or otherwise I'm going to give him a score. Okay, I'm going to stick with 8. Okay, Alex gave an 8. Okay, me and Alex on the same page there. Okay, cool. Guys, guys in the chat, Tomiyasu. Ian, Tomiyasu for...
Mr. Consistent, eh? Yes.
Yeah.
I bet you this guy, he can even play in center of midfield, honestly. He doesn't even look like a right back. I think that defending is just part of his makeup.
Yeah.
I would
He-
say 8 as well.
Eight.
He's just consistent, man. That's what you want from a defender. Actually,
Mentally
defending.
strong as well. Mentally strong
Yeah,
as well.
we've needed that for so long.
And George for Tommy Yasu.
Yeah, you know what? We haven't talked about him, man. But it's
No.
interesting because I was speaking to someone who was at the Emirates for Southampton, and we independently both said he was man of the match. I mean, he's just Mr. Consistent. He's been great, and against Everton and Man U as well. He's by far our best player. You know, so I'll give him a 9, definite 9.
Awesome. And then guys in the chat for Ben White. Ian, Ben White.
I'll give Ben a 7. Got his job
7.
done. Because he was good with position of the ball as well. You know, distribution is getting better.
Benjamin White.
Yep. George.
Yeah, I think I'll go for 7 as well, man. Yeah.
And 7 for White in the chat. Guys in the chat for Tierney. Ian, Tierney.
Yeah, the second game back, good start. It was solid. I'll give him a 7 as well. Did his job. Didn't overexert himself as well. Didn't get injured, thank God.
George.
I think he's finding his feet after his injury. I think he's doing great. Yeah, had a solid game. Again, yeah, 7, man. Has to be 7.
And the chat's got a 7 for Tierney as well. Gabriel.
Oh,
Scored a
Gabby,
goal.
I'll go 9. Yeah, I'll give him a 9. Solid performance defensively as well. Read the game extremely well, you know, so I'm going to go 9.
And he scored.
And he scored.
Yeah.
Guys in the chat, don't forget for Gabriel, put your scores there. George, Gabriel.
Great goal, Mr. Consistent. Great defending again. Yeah, I think I'll go for 8.
Right, and 8 in the chat as well. Party chat. Ian, Thomas Party.
Party, I'll go 6.5. I will actually go off.
Yeah, you can give it off. It's fine.
6.5. 6.5. I don't know what's happening there. He needs to get his head in the right place, though.
Yeah. George.
He had an all right game. You know, he controlled that midfield after the first 20 minutes. Did his job. I'll give him, a 7. Solid 7.
7. Awesome. Guys in the chat, Bakayo Saka. Ian, Saka.
Saka, he got a golden assist. Was a nuisance all day long. He hit the post as well. His attacking threat at the moment is becoming unreal. Guys, this kid's got talent. That's a 8.
Yeah.
8 for me.
Yeah.
8.
George.
Yeah, no, he really played well, I think he felt him down that right. I'll give him a solid 8 as well. That game.
And we got a 7 in the chat for Saka. Granit Xhaka. Chat. Ian.
I would say solid performance. Made a couple of good recoveries as well. He was actually missed. I probably never actually said that, but yeah, he was missed in midfield. I'll give him a 7.
7. George.
The fact that he didn't make a mistake, we're not talking about him now is a good thing. So I'll give him an extra point for that. I think he connected well with Odegaard. So yeah, solid 7, man. Yeah.
7. Okay, and we got a 6 for him in the chat. Evan, seriously, man, I just want to show you this comment. Nah.
Wow.
Not for opinion on the field.
Definitely divided opinion about that.
Yeah. Then chat, Gabriel Martinelli. Ian.
Martinelli. I'm gonna give him an 8, bro. He was so good. He was a problem all day. I love this energy, man. Yo, you need to start every single day.
George.
You got an assist as well, eh?
Yep.
His movement, man. It's what we've not been having up front is just great movement. You know, against Newcastle, you saw that, and just for that, yeah, he opens up. He makes things happen up front. Number 8 again, 8 as well.
8 again. Okay.
You moved a bit like the Alexis Sanchez of old, eh?
Yeah.
Not the current Alexis Sanchez, the old Alexis Sanchez.
Yeah. He's got a good football brain on him as well.
Yeah.
And Martin Odegaard.
I think Odegaard was good, eh? Popping up in his goal scoring positions once again. I think his passing he can put a little bit more power behind his passing because the vision is there. And he links up play nicely with Lacazette as well. That I enjoyed. So I'll give him a 7.
7. George, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, what can you say about Odegaard, man? He's really coming into his own. Scored nearly every game now, hasn't he? Last 3 games, whatever. Yeah, I mean, when he first came back in the team, I think he raised a lot of questions, but a lot of people were asking why is he there? You know, he had a few bad games back, you know, before he was benched. But I think, yeah, no, he's finding that position behind the strikers. So yeah, I've got to go. I'll give him an 8 for the goal as well from the head. Yeah.
And Lacazette, last one. Yeah.
Well, besides scoring the goal, I think he should have scored like 2 more. But he's influential, though. You can't deny that he's influential in this team. Even though when he's off form, he's still an influence. I'm going to give him a 7.5. So
George?
Influence.
I've got a soft spot for Laka, man. He tries his heart out. He plays really well. He supports other strikers really well. He's a really great supporting striker. You've only had more confidence to do the one thing he's meant to do in that score. So I have to go for 7, man. I'll give him a solid 7.
Good first goal.
The substitutes, they didn't do much. I know Pepe had 5 minutes. Lukongo had 7. So we're not going to worry with them. Arteta, the manager. Yeah.
Can I give Holding a 9, though? Just for the fact there now.
Arteta, I'm going to go with a 7. He didn't make too many stupid changes as well. You got the starting lineup right, and yeah.
George,
I think respect for keeping the same team from Everton. As I said, I don't think we did as badly against Everton as a lot of people made out, and the team did the job. So just for that, I'll give him an 8. Give him benefit of the doubt.
Okay, I can't remember who was man of the match though. Official man of the match.
Oh,
okay.
Wasn't Tommy?
I don't know who was the official man of the match, but our man of the match is up between Gabriel and Tomiyasu. I'll have to give it to Gabriel just for scoring the goal. I mean that
possibly, yeah.
I mean,
it was Saka.
I think he deserves it. Yeah. Yeah.
Was Saka man of the match?
Was Saka man of the match? Okay.
Official man of the match.
Yeah, official man of the match. Our man of the match goes to Gabriel this week. Well done.
Gabriel?
Yeah, Gabby.
Well done. West Ham. How do we?
Big one.
Who'd have thought, man? Who'd have thought West Ham would be our game of the season? You know?
Yeah.
I hate West Ham, by the way. The only fight I've ever nearly had with a football fan was a West Ham fan. I hate them. So, this is like my Tottenham. Arsenal Tottenham.
I mean, let's start with lineups. I mean, George, we'll go with you first. I mean, what lineup would you go against West Ham?
I think that their main defenders, by the way, are injured, like Kurt Zuma. So I actually watched a bit of the Burnley game. Yeah, I think they might be a bit vulnerable at the back. So at home, I mean, if it was away, I'd have a different team. But at home, I'd stick with the lineup. I'd prefer to play Sambi, instead of Xhaka, but I think we'll stick with Xhaka. And just stick with the lineup. Yeah, Laka, Martinelli. I was going to ask you before. You talked about Martinelli back in the team, but what happens when ESR comes back in? So, Ian, I was going to ask you, would you keep Martinelli or would you put ESR there up front?
The thing is, at the moment, Smith Rowe has to start because he's our form player. I mean, the guy plays across the front three and the midfield, and he links up with Lacazette extremely well. So I would start him. Maybe over Odegaard. I don't know. It depends. The manager will surprise us on the day because it feels like one of those games is going to surprise us. It just feels like it.
I think the problem, though, without Martinelli, we haven't got many people can score. Martinelli's literally the only striker on that pitch who can actually, probably put the ball in the back of the net, out and out striker. So I would actually keep with Martinelli, to be honest, instead of ESR for now. I mean, ESR does wonders down that right, but just in terms of someone on the pitch who can actually put the ball in the back of the net, and threaten and create the space like we were talking about before.
And his energy as well.
I think the other factor I would the first thing that would come to my mind, and this is after watching the Southampton game and comparing that game to this game, the first thing that comes to my mind is the immediate increase in quality of the opposition. I was quite shocked at how utterly pathetic Southampton were. I watched a handful of games. I actually
Yeah.
thought they were much better than what I actually saw. But from the goalkeeper to the defense to the midfield, their wingers. I don't know what two clowns is playing. They probably paint the stadium on the off days because they're not footballers. I can tell you that. That's not strikers. They actually got into very good positions. And what I'm trying to say is, if Antonio gets into that position on Wednesday night,
Banging in those goals.
that's
Oh my
not
God.
going to be a back pass to a goalkeeper, brother. Forget about it. The first thing we got to realize, and Arteta, I hope he's listening, is the improvement in the quality of the opposition. Because I was genuinely shocked how crap Southampton were on Saturday. They were, I mean, that's
Yeah.
relegation fodder. That I'm sorry, Ralph Hasenhuttl, respect to him, but that was. I know they got
I think
injuries and
Adams
stuff,
was
but
missing, eh?
the first step up here is the opposition. The opposition is
Yeah.
a major jump from Southampton to West Ham.
Well, Warren,
Okay, so-
what's it old adage? You can only beat what's put in front of you, bro. So
Yeah.
back in the day, we would have
Yeah.
lost that team.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I mean,
Yeah, no,
because
that's
now
fine.
we
Just beat what's in
we
front of
beat
us.
like, and then we get like a shock the result the next time. We're wondering, well, hold on, what
Yeah.
happened here? And then just we gotta be third. We can't like have that first 20 minutes like we did against Southampton. That must go
Because
bye
like
bye now. We
Everton,
gotta like first whistle on it and
yeah.
take the fight. We can't be giving freebies away.
Yeah.
It won't
Okay,
be good
so-
enough.
Everton lost to Brentford over the weekend, and like I was asking myself,
Yeah,
how the hell
yeah.
did we beat them? You know, but unfortunately, it's the
so-
Arsenal way at the moment.
So the head-to-head, this is only the Premier League era. So we do pretty well against West Ham. They've only won us 8 times, so
Yeah.
they're obviously a different West Ham side this year. So we can't really take into account the head-to-head that much. Before we get into the predictions, let's just get to the favorite part of the show, and that's the quiz.
Hey.
I hope I can win. I win when nobody gets anything right, which is probably impossible. But obviously, quiz is around Arsenal versus West Ham. Warren, you can also take part since you haven't seen the questions. And guys in the chat, you can also take part, but just do Q1, A, B, or C. Okay, let's do this. So when West Ham beat Arsenal 2-1 in 1999, who did Patrick Ribeiro spit at after being sent off? A. Stuart Pearce, B. Neil Ruddock, or C. Paulo Di Canio? Warren, we start with you.
Okay, this is a bit of a guess. I kind of remember this, but I'm gonna try and go with B, Neil Ruddock.
Okay,
Uh,
George.
Yeah, I was going to go with B, man. It has to
Yep.
be Neil. Yeah, he was involved nearly every 5 minutes.
Ian,
I'm gonna go with Psycho with Stuart Pearce.
Stuart Pearce.
Yeah.
So when I was looking up these questions, I went with C just to be fair, but I wasn't right.
okay,
it
there
was
we go.
it was Neil Ruddock. Okay, question 2. In what season did Arsenal knock West Ham out of both domestic cups? That's the now Carabao Cup and the FA Cup. 99-2000, 98-99, 97-98. This is a very difficult question, if I must be honest.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a guess again. I'm gonna go with C. That's a
Okay,
total
Morgan's-
guess.
Morgan's got a C. George?
Oh, that's a tough one, eh? I'd go 99-2000 when we lost to Man U in the FA Cup. Did we beat West Ham that year? Okay, I'll go for A.
Ian?
I'm gonna go with C.
C. And the answer is C. Morgan, you got it right.
Hey.
And
Yay!
Mariano got it
from my
right in the
side,
chat.
That was a wild guess.
Last question. In November 2007, whose goal prompted a touchline row between Alan Pardew and Arsene Wenger? Marlon Haywood, Bobby Zamora, or Terry Sheringham? What?
Yeah,
actually
I
can't even
remember
remember.
this one as well. Yeah.
I remember the fight.
Yeah, I
I remember
remember
the
this
fight.
one,
I
yeah.
don't know who scored.
Yeah.
Even now, I can't remember. Oh, okay, I remember the answer now.
I'm
Gonna push
gonna.
you, Warren.
Okay, Okay, let me try A again. I'm gonna take a guess here. A.
Okay, George.
Bobby Zamora, I think.
Okay, Ian.
Yeah, I'm gonna go B. Bobby Zamora as well.
Okay, there's a couple of answers for chat, and here's the answer. It was A. Warren. Warren.
Warren.
3 out of 3, eh? Oh, well done.
That's all. Total guesswork. I mean.
Yeah. Okay, so let me just run through this, guys. Don't forget the predictor game that we've got going on our small little website. There's
I'm
some
being
prizes
support
up
on
for
this game.
grabs, and yeah, that's how it works. Rules are also on the website. Have a look there. The website is on the little banner here at the bottom. Hope I'm showing it right. And that's what the log looks like. Colin still up there from week 1. Well done, Colin. Keep it going.
Bevan is up there.
But
Bevan is third.
yeah, but people's catching up. I also must apologize to Guna Matters. I know I was chatting to him during the game, and
Okay.
I thought I put my prediction down for 3-0. It was actually 2-0, so
Okay.
I was almost right. But yeah, Warren, I think you're 11th. So if you don't make top 10,
Oh
your
my
name's not up
word.
there.
Okay.
Cool. Well done to these top 3. Keep it going. It's getting real interesting there, and we're only halfway. And that's about it.
Yeah.
Guys, your predictions for Wednesday night. Ian, we'll go with you.
Oh,
What about going with 2 strikers on Wednesday? How about that?
no. I think we should stick to Auburn to stay for five in the team. Just go with the
Oh, wait.
starting lineup.
Before we get that, there was one more quiz question here in the chat. Let me just get it for you guys. So Alex is taking a Chelsea fan to the West Ham game on Wednesday. He asked the question: A, do I spill a drink on him? B, do I throw him over the balcony? C, do I join him in a punching match with West Ham fans? Can I add a D there, Alex? Let him have the fight and don't join him and let him get his ass kicked, or you can.
Yeah.
I'll go. That would be the D, but I'd say B. Just throw him over the balcony.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with B as well.
Yeah.
Throw that scum over the bloody.
That seems a bit dangerous, man.
Yeah.
Chelsea fan. Oh man.
Okay, guys. Predictions. Ian, we'll go with you first.
I'm going to go 3-2 Arsenal.
Woo!
Whoa,
Big scoreline.
Yeah,
Goals, big scorelines.
George, your
West
thoughts?
Ham are going to score.
Yep.
I was going to say 3-2, but if it was away from home, I'd say we lose 2-1. I'm going to go for a 2-1. 2-1 win for Arsenal.
2-1 win, Arsenal. Warren?
Yeah, I'm not going to change. The last time I changed my bloody prediction on the show and I got it, actually predicted the right one and then I changed it and got it totally wrong. I'm going to go Arsenal 1, West Ham 1. Tight game.
Yeah, 1-1.
That's
A lot of people are predicting draws. I mean, okay, I don't know what happened to Alex. He's 2-0 out the
1-0
window.
to the Arsenal. That's because you can't score goals, man.
Yeah, we can't score goals. I think I'm actually going to join Alex on that one with a 1-0 win to the Arsenal. But there's a couple of draws I saw early in the chat as well. People predicting draws. Bevan draw 2-1, 2-1. The other question.
West Ham, yeah.
The other thing I actually wanted to ask you guys, I think myself and Warren was talking about it earlier on about your thoughts on Arteta. I mean, I think I'll put my thoughts out to the public, especially to Wolfie, because he thinks I lick Arteta's ass. I'm on the fence with Arteta. I want him to do well because if he does well, Arsenal's doing well, and that's inevitably what we all want. I'm not going to shout, get him out, and unless we on the bottom half of the table, that's obviously the reason to shout that. But he has bad games, but compared to where we were in the first 3 weeks of the league or the championship, we're doing a lot better. Yes, he's going to be poor results, and hence why I asked you guys a question. I mean, what do we expect from this young side? And I've got consistency is hard to come by with a young side as long as they keep us up there and we see where he takes us. So I'm not shouting Arteta out. I'm not shouting Arteta in. I'm shouting Arteta do well and supporting the guy because he's at our club. I just want to know your guys' thoughts around Arteta, where you stand with him. I mean, what are your expectations from him at Arsenal in whatever time period it is? Start with you, Ian.
Okay. Yeah, I'm very much on the road there. I think it all depends on decision making, getting the squad right. But then again, I understand what he's working with. So if we look at our squad, it's a young squad. He's a young manager, so he's going to be prone to making mistakes as well. But I would honestly say that if there's another games we can win now, which makes his job safe. But he has to get us back into Europe like next season. That should be an obligation from the board. You know, I don't think he can stay on and not get after the season and go not to Europe. Honestly, because we're a big club, we need to be in Europe. You know, honestly. But I was speaking to Neil the other day, but I was ranting a bit after the Western game. I mean, I was so pissed off with us again. But my thing is just like he's been given quite a few chances though. I mean, look, Ole got sacked. That board got fed up. So he can't afford to lose, go like another. Remember last season we lost like 10 in a row in the league? If that happens again, you know, then he must get sacked. But at the moment it's looking a little bit better. He's finding his feet with the team. I just want the team to win, honestly. I don't want to be battling relegation and all of this shit, honestly. Not that it will ever happen. But you know, you don't want to be held in a self-same conversation. So you can get the best out of the guys who play well, and he does well, the club does well, the fan base does well. You know, so and like what Alex says, like there's too much negativity in social media as well. You know, there's too many agendas against the man. So it's kind of hard for him to ignore that and do his job at the same time. Because it's gonna end up at his ears, he's gonna see what people are saying about him. You know, but I mean he seems like he has strong character at the end of the day. I mean, so at the moment, he can do his job. That's what I'm saying. He can do his job at the moment.
George, your thoughts on Arteta?
Where do you begin? I think the problem with the Arteta in, the Arteta out. One thing I've realised recently is that a lot of the whole Wenger out, Wenger in thing has poisoned the club. You know what I mean? It's like what people don't understand. If you look at Arsenal's history, is that we're a medium-sized club that sometimes in history punches above its weight. The Wenger years were exceptional. You know. And we'll probably not repeat them for a long time. For me, Arteta, if you get rid of all, as soon as we lose, everyone's on Arteta's back. You know, I think you got to ask yourself two questions: Is the manager is it a blip? Is his bad form a blip, or is it some long term problems? And I think long term, with all the bumps along the road, he's actually doing really well. When was the last time we had such a solid back four? Probably George Graham's, 2004 sort of thing. He's actually found a solid back four for the first time. I'm confident in our back four. So, and then he's building up. The middle of the park we've kind of sorted it out, and then up front we got inconsistencies. But he's also looking at the right players. He's brought in the great goalkeeper, and he's all Calvert-Lewin. If the rumours are true, are exactly what we need. So I think overall he's doing the right things. He's been a great manager. And yeah, he makes mistakes. And I can point out Nenny, for example. What the hell was he doing on the pitch against Man United? I can go back to Brighton and the Crystal Palace game when he put ESR and Odegaard in midfield, twice. What the hell were they doing in midfield? They can't control the middle of the pitch. So he does make rookie mistakes, but that goes just like his young players. He makes one or two mistakes, but I think underneath it all, he's doing the right thing right now. So I'd stick with him. I'd definitely stick with him. And the way he's handling Aubameyang, we can see that he's a problem. He's out of the place. They need to get rid of him, and he's doing. So the Ozil thing, I'm so happy to get rid of him. It's well known that I'm not a big Ozil fan. So I think overall he is doing the right things, but he does seem to make mistakes. For now, I'm definitely Arteta, stick with him, but he has to sort that front line out. If he doesn't sort it out by the end of the season, we finish 7th or 8th, then I'd say maybe it's time for a change. Maybe it's time for the new manager to come in to build on his base, amazing foundation he's built, and just to give it that little push we need to become that great team again. But for now, I'm sticking with him because I think he's done a great job at the top.
Okay, here's another question, and I'm going to start with you, George, on this one. Do we have a good team? Do we have a good squad? Do we have the squad capable of challenging with the few additions? We know up front is our biggest problem, and let's say in hindsight we do get Calvert-Lewin in. Is this team capable of bringing us that championship trophy?
I think for us, the missing striker is a big thing, eh? It really is. Can you imagine if those chances we usually have in the first 10 minutes are converted? Imagine the change of confidence in the team. It's like, I think having a decent striker it means a lot to us. And I think what happens is we create all these chances, they're not converted, and then suddenly you get nervous, and then the young mistakes, the naive mistakes when the young players come in, sort of thing. So getting a striker, I think, will change a lot. Now, is our team good enough? Are the players good enough? I think there's a lot of mediocre players in there, but I also think like Tommy Yasu is a good example of a world-class player. Now, you should judge other players by his standard, yeah? I think like people like Gabriel, Ramsdale, even White, I think finally we got players that would make any top 3 side, Would Partey make it? Zach make it? No, probably not. So what we do is we probably have a good base of world-class or good players with a stock of mediocre players. But I think Arteta's slowly getting rid of them. In the window, I think we're going to get rid of a lot of El Nenis and the Nketiahs and the sort of thing. Yeah. So I think we do have an increasing number of very decent players that will probably make a top 3 team. But we still got a lot of mediocre players. But we're getting there.
Yeah.
Okay. Ian, you're on the same page?
I'm on the same page. We have so many.
Okay, so am I then right at saying we're probably 3 signings away from a very good squad? 2 midfielders and a striker.
Let me throw in the quality of the signing.
Why 2 midfielders? Well, who's the problem?
Well, not even 2. I mean, maybe 1. One more.
One player we've not talked about. I really wanted to bring up. It's Ainsley. AMN. Yeah, sorry, we did talk about it. Yeah, he should be played more midfield. So we got another midfielder that's not being used today. God knows what reason. Yeah, so there you go. Sorry, man.
Okay, cool. Okay, so let me take it. Let me then take it back a bit. Maybe 2 signings, and the 2 players that I would really like to see in an Arsenal shirt is Calvert-Lewin, and I think it's a consensus around everybody at the moment. And I think I don't know if he'll fit in our team, but his name came up in the chat, and Declan Rice. Something about that boy.
We won't be able to afford Declan Rice.
Yeah, 120 million.
That's another 100 million signing, right?
I think
breaking the bank, mate, bro.
I think with those 2 signings and taking out our full strength team and maybe taking Partey out and playing Declan Rice or Sambula Conga, Calvert-Lewin up front.
I see you guys haven't mentioned the striker from Fiorentina that we are actually chasing actively, that Dusan Vlahovic. He's banging in the goals of Fiorentina. He scored like a brace this weekend again, a brace the weekend before. He's got the leading goal scorer in Italy as well, and he's a Serbian. He's a physical unit as well. So apparently,
you did?
Got the 80 million in Europe.
Yeah,
80 million.
I heard about that. Yeah, I heard about that.
But
Naseem, are you referring to the number of players we need to get into the top 4 or top 3 or challenge for the title? Because there's major differences.
No, challenge for the title. I mean,
challenge for the league title.
Yes.
The league title.
Next season. Or the season
Not
after.
next season. I'm saying building the squad into a team that can actually challenge for the title. And I'm not saying win the title next season. Obviously, you need to give this team some time to grow. But
okay, okay.
A team that challenges for the top 4, basically. That's what
Well, I mean, I think there's, like George mentioned, I count at least, if I go through the squad, there's a first team that's 11 players that we can post. Yeah. That's not good enough for Arsenal Football Club. Yeah. We need more than 2. I can tell you that right now. Why? Because the other teams got better than what we got already. There you go. That's the answer. So, but the other thing that's in our favor is that, just remember, a lot of these players that are at the top now, in 3 years' time, they're going to be they're going to be not good enough.
Done.
And our youngsters are going to be at the level where they now getting to that 24, 25, 26 age gap where you're starting to hit kind of your peak. So we got to buffer them. So that's why we got to use the time now. Get rid of the crap. We started with the Ozils, and I'm shocked that someone like, Chambers and who's the other idiot on the left there, Kolasinac. What the hell are they doing at the club? They raffle these guys off for fuck's sakes.
It's their wages,
What are they
though,
doing
high
there?
wages, unfortunately.
We just give them the money, tell them to go. They're doing more damage than anything.
Yeah,
So,
but
so
isn't
there's a
it?
combination of things that we got to get right. So we've got to support the youngsters because now like in 3 years' time, when we're saying they're going to be good enough, and they probably will be because with all the experience chalking up now over the years, they will get there, but they won't get there if they're playing with Mr. Crapo next to them. Because now they must do two jobs now. We got to support them now with the quality players, and I would say, even someone like another name I was looking at, like Pepe is but debatable. Just as an example, okay, easy, isn't he? So there's another player at Leeds United that could maybe come in, and you always want to look at your team and how do we improve what we got already. Maybe someone like Rafinha. Rafinha, that's in a price bracket. He's got Premiership experience. He's playing the Arteta type of the hard running, high press. He would come in and improve the team. I'm not saying at the expense of Saka or Smith, just to complement and add to what is there already. So we got to start thinking along those lines now. Already. I think we need like Tielemans as well. Maybe in 2 years now we can afford him.
Yeah.
Maybe not now. Maybe. Eh?
There's rumors that we are trying to ship Pepe off in January already. But I don't
Yeah,
know
I've heard that.
what's gonna be the exact
I
team.
I've heard. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Sorry,
think 2
go.
points. I think 2 points. One, when you bring a player in, you have to think like the one thing a lot of people don't discuss is what will it do to the team? Because a team is a finely balanced thing. So if you bring another defensive midfielder, and we've already got 3 there. How will it affect, the rest of the, does it make it? And think about Pepe. Pepe's probably not a bad player, but he just doesn't suit right now our system. He's too big and to be a second-rate player, not play on every week. And unfortunately, he's not going to make it. So we have to, you should ship him out. I also want to make the point of you've got to remember the cases of Percy and Ramsey. When they're at the club, first 8 years, Percy wasn't scoring. Then he had an amazing season. Same as Ramsey. He had a few seasons where he was pretty mediocre. Then in 2016, he was amazing. These kids, it will happen. The same thing will happen with these kids. They'll probably have a few okay seasons, and suddenly one of them's gonna, Saka's gonna score 30 or something in one season. Or ESR. So you've got to give them time and let them. You can't break them up. You can't suddenly say bring in someone and go, okay, now you're on the bench. Do you know what I mean? For that to happen. So I think, look. Every player you bring in, I'm not saying I don't know how many players you have to bring in. I'm not the manager, but wherever you bring in, you've got to think how will this affect the players in. I think a lot of people don't really consider that as much as they should.
Yeah, we need to strengthen like look at it in terms of the positions, because the drop between the first team, and we've seen it in this very season, the drop from the first choice team to the other also ranks is massive. It's a massive drop. When the other guys come in, it's like, oh my God, it's just the same team. I mean, so we can be clever in how we do that, but we can definitely sort the guys that are sort of the fringe journeyman players. But what our ace in up our sleeve now are youngsters, and we got to shape the team around them now. Slowly, just package them nicely, and the support players like the Dominic Calvin-Lewins that can actually take Smith Rowe and Saka another level higher. So imagine those two now with a decent, proper, world-class striker. It'll take their game from 60 to like 80% immediately. That's the type of signings I want to see.
English players.
Okay?
Sorry.
End up having all the best English players in our team.
Well, that could be. I mean, That could be one of the things. That definitely could be one of the things. So I think Arteta's doing a good job of laying the foundation there for us. Just that, unfortunately, right now that little like 1 or 2 players that are just not sort of and then they leave the youngsters to carry the can most of the time, and it's just too much pressure for them. That's why I feel bad for them half of the time. But definitely on the right path. I mean, I'd rather be us than say like United spending $1 billion every year and then they're like getting shit about the season. You know,
Exactly.
I mean, they just buy players out of spite. I mean, you know, never mind for any reason. I think we still have some kind of a basic sort of idea
It's a
where we're
plan.
going to.
It is a plan.
Yeah,
You
it's
can
a
see it's
plan.
a plan in action.
It'll
Yeah.
take long because of the youngsters, but once they all kick in, you're talking about 6, 7 of the 11 players that are all going to kick into gear in one. They're all going to get to 24, 25, 26 at the same time. I mean, think about
That's
it.
the
That's
thing.
like,
That's
you know,
why the current crop of senior players that we have, we need those senior players to actually step up for the season. You know, so these kids don't burn out towards the end of the season. We can't afford that because all our best players are the kids. Unfortunately,
yeah. And give them big contracts, for goodness sake. I mean, let Saka and Smith Rowe give them 5, like now, call them in January, sorry, come sign here. Here's another 5 years on top of it. Don't now let it come to 2 years and then, oops, Newcastle suddenly has, 500 billion to spend on. Because they'll just come with like, here's 200 million for Saka and there's 200 million for Smith Rowe. You
yeah, but
know
they're
it's
going to do the
coming.
championship though. I think
Now, I'm
they're
just
gonna
saying in
do
2 years'
the
time, when,
championship.
when eventually these Oaks are going to be
Yeah.
at the very best, then Newcastle will come knocking the door, and Man City as well. Are we going to turn down like 400 million or something? Because that's what's going to happen. Whether we like it or not, so we got to get the contract situation sorted. Don't not give Aubameyang the big bucks in 3 years and whatever, and then Oaks like Saka sitting on a year and a half. We saw what that happened and did to our football club already. When underperformers were given the big contracts and the guys that were performing got sold for free. I mean,
Yeah.
let's learn our lessons.
Cool, guys. We are over our time. I just want to say thanks, Ian and George, for joining
Thanks
us.
for-
It
thanks for
was
having us.
awesome having you
Good, good.
guys in the chat. Always nice reading the comments coming through. Keep it coming. Next show is on Thursday, and Warren will do a
Yeah.
preview show for the West Ham
Miss-
game. I won't be here, unfortunately, but yeah, all. I'm looking forward to the West Ham game, but nervous. I have to say, not sure what Arsenal. Yeah.
You're not the only
Top
one.
4
Bro. You're
battle.
not the only one.
This is
But yeah.
a big one, yeah. It's a big one.
Have a good evening, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Cheers,
See you
guys.
at the next
Cheers,
one.
man. Thanks.
Cheers, guys. Cheers, man.
Bye bye.
Cheers, boys. Cheers, boys. Cheers, boys.